9 weird habits you pick up living in Australia. This video is coming from Sam Ford. This was a recommendation by you guys. I'm really curious what weird habits are. I could imagine some like good habits. Weird is kind of like it makes me think you're going to be doing something, you know, like what we've seen walking in stores barefoot or something like that, which I know a lot of you said, hey, that doesn't happen too often, but weird habits. I would think of good habits would probably be like just a better quality of life, slowing down a little bit. Maybe the food, I don't know. I'm really curious, so smash that like button. Let's dive in and figure out what these 9 weird habits are.
I swear, Australia does something to you. You arrive here thinking, oh, I'm just moving countries, new time zone, new weather, slightly different supermarket layout. But then you catch yourself doing things you never expected before, and you take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror and go, wait, who am I? And the wildest part is that it all feels strangely natural. It's like the country's gently rewired your brain and you secretly love it. So today we're diving into the 9 strange habits you pick up when you live in Australia. Let's start with number 1. And remember, Australia is a massive continent. My experience might be very different from your experience when you come here. Number 1, you stop playing a character. In the UK, we're terrible for the over-politeness, and
you stop playing a character. I could get down with this. A lot of people play characters, and he's referencing the UK, so I'm sure it's probably pretty similar to how America is, like the facade that people put on. Let's see where he's going with this.
A character. In the UK, we're terrible for the over-politeness, and at first it seems quite lovely and charming, and then you realise it's kind of something we've dug ourselves into, and we struggle to get out of it because we think in almost every situation you have to be overly polite to be kind, and we also have the terrible habit in the UK of worrying about other people's opinions of us. And I know we all experience this wherever you're from, but it kind of feels like next level in the UK, and you actually start changing your behaviour just to please other people. You start becoming someone you're not, smiling when something has really hurt you, saying thank you when somebody has, you know, wronged you. And you come to Australia and you start making mates with other Australians, or if you're like me, you married one. You realise that Australians can smell the fakeness and the over-politeness, and you trying to be someone you're not from miles away, or kilometres away, I should say. Do you think that
I feel like from what I've heard from the British is that they're not really polite. I don't know. Maybe it could be in the area that he lives in. I definitely have heard that Americans come off like we are way too overly polite. Kind of like fake a little bit, you know, constantly smiling, always saying how you doing to each other and communicating. At least this is somewhat what I've heard. So when I think of the UK, though, I think of a little bit more, not like grungy, but just, I've never been there, so I don't know. It could be these stereotypes that we hear about people constantly in different countries. Usually the stereotype comes from somewhere, but, you know, it's not necessarily all people. So, all right, let's, I'm really curious. This is not what I was expecting from the video, and I'm kind of liking it, though. Let's keep going.
Brits are very over polite and worry a lot about what other people think, so they like put it on extra.
I think in generalized conversation, yes.
Yeah.
But I think that, sorry. I think British people like do care a lot about what you think.
Yeah.
But Aussies just want authentic, I think.
Yeah.
They want, like, it's like that larrikin culture of like being able to have a laugh and not take yourself too seriously.
Thanks for your input.
No worries at all, everybody. We're matching. In a biscuit.
Oh no. 5 second roll, 5 second roll. 5 second roll. Number 2, you fall in love with the outdoors again. Do you remember when you were a kid and you wanted to go outdoors a lot and you want to go to the woods and build a rope swing and get on your bike and things like that? I was a bit like that. But when you become an adult in the UK, especially when winter comes around, which kind of does feel like a 6-month season, some days we literally only get like 6 hours of daylight and it's rainy and it's great. It's so easy to just plug yourself into the couch, turn on Netflix and just chain drink and eat tea and digestive biscuits. Whereas you come to Australia and you realise what an impact the weather has on you. I'd mentioned this before.
I can only imagine. Right now, it is pretty cold outside. You can tell by the sweatshirt that I'm wearing. We just took the kids to the movies, and we had the day off, so took the kids out to the movies. Yesterday, we were out, went to like a local pop-up shop where all these food trucks come in. It's playgrounds. It's nice being outside, but it's really cold. I mean, compared to some other countries, probably not as cold, but it's pretty chilly out right now. So when we are outside, it's raining, it's wet, it's cold, snowing. You know, you definitely don't want to be out as much. But, you know, I'll be completely honest. I probably spend too much time inside. And in the summertime, definitely outdoors a lot more, out on the lake doing things. But he's kind of right. I do, you know, get in my shell a little bit inside the house, and usually I'm doing stuff that's productive, but I do spend a lot more time inside than I did when I was a kid. He's 100% right. And I'm sure that with the beautiful weather that you guys have, it is probably a lot easier to be spending your time outside.
Or we often get seasonal affective disorder in the UK, a lot of us do anyway, which is a type of depression caused by lack of sunlight, and it just makes you feel rubbish. And also, if you live in a city like Brisbane or Sydney,
That looks beautiful.
even Melbourne to a
Gosh.
certain extent, you see a lot of locals getting outdoors, getting walks in, doing the free council-led fitness and yoga classes, getting on their bikes, running, and actually making the most of the outdoors. The amount of people I see with like picnic baskets, pitching up in a park here in Brisbane for date nights and family gatherings, and how it's such a big thing to get a load of food and cake in and go to the park with one of those public barbecues and have a birthday party there. And I work from home, so now if I don't leave the house, I just go mad. I just go crazy. Quick reminder, if this video gets over 25,000 likes, I will go play a proper game of NRL. If that's something you want to see, hit that like button. Number
25,000, right? Okay, all right. I'm hitting the like button. Let's keep going.
3, you visit the bakery a lot more often. You thought
You visit the bakery a lot more often. I don't think we have like other than in our supermarkets. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a bakery in my town, but we do most of our baking at home. All right, let's keep going.
UK, wait till you come to Australia. Bloody love it here. A really big thing here is Vietnamese bakeries that serve a hybrid of British, Australian baked goods and also Vietnamese things like rice paper rolls, with a satay dip, banh mi, which is basically
had it.
meat and bread. I have the tofu version as I'm vegetarian, but is still unreal. And then of course they've got your classic donuts, cakes, meat pies,
boy.
sausage rolls, cookies, all of that stuff. But it's amazing because you can walk into one of these places. Everywhere I've been, the people have been so lovely and welcoming, and you come out with the best food hall ever, which makes you feel like you've traveled to several different countries all in one day. Number 4, you learn to laugh at yourself. You know when you've truly made a friend with an Australian because they're not afraid to poke a bit of fun at you. It's not like that toxic workplace banter that we have in the UK where everyone gathers round and, you know, that manager cracks a joke at your expense and everyone laughs at you and you actually feel really small about yourself. No, it's like poking fun at you, but it's done with a very endearing, loving quality. And
I've noticed this a little bit so far. I mean, we've had this. I started this channel. Gosh, it's been like 2 or 3 weeks. I think we've been going for, and I read your guys' comments. I don't respond to every single one. It's just a lot of time. There's a lot of them. But I do read them, and I get a little bit of the poking fun and kind of just messing around. I love it. It's great. I also get hate mail as well, but it's all good. It's all it doesn't bug me too much.
even if it is like a bit brutal sometimes, it doesn't feel anywhere near as harsh as it does if you're in the UK. And it's funny because I'm not perfect at always getting it. Sometimes an Aussie might crack a joke at my expense, and I do sometimes take it to heart and think and get a bit sensitive, like not openly, but inside I'm a bit like sensitive about it, like, oh, do they not like me? Then I realise it's actually because they were trying to build some sort of connection, and I'm like, oh, that's quite nice actually. And what I've learned is that Aussies often use humour to
That's
connect.
nice.
They don't want to get bogged down in all the unnecessary boring small talk. It's like crack a joke or two, gets you laughing, and you're already having a much better day. Hopefully this is something I can keep doing when I do visit friends and family back in the UK. Number 5, you learn how to deal with
I don't know if you'd be able to take it back to another country and like do that. I can't wait to experience this, and by all means, you guys crack the jokes in the comments. Say them to me when I come there. I'm okay. I got pretty thick skin, and like he said, you know, if you hear someone doing it to you, it's usually a way that they're trying to connect with you, which I can appreciate. So That's pretty cool.
I can keep doing when I do visit friends and family back in the UK. Number 5, you learn how to deal with a real storm. I experienced my first cyclone here in Brisbane, the most terrifying experience of my life. I've done my Gold Duke of Edinburgh award, so. But then I realised after doing a bit of research that these cyclones, they actually ruin people's lives. They destroy people's businesses, their homes, and they can even kill people. And then I realised...
Okay, I still am trying to... I think a cyclone is very similar to a hurricane, right? They just call it something different over on that side of the world. Because we have hurricanes, not necessarily where I live. We'll get like the tail end of a hurricane, which is usually just a lot of rain, really windy. But we do get tornadoes, which are absolutely crazy. One of them came through Nashville, kind of where I live. I live on the outskirts, the suburbs of Nashville, in a little town called Mount Juliet, Lebanon. Anyway, probably about 4 years ago, a tornado came through. And at the time I was at a hotel in town doing something for work, and it literally blew through probably about 3/4 of a mile from where our house was at and where I was at pretty much. And it just absolutely destroyed everything in its path. Entire schools, people, of course, did lose their lives in it. It was really terrible. Maybe it was like 5 years ago now. So I get the crazy weather. I've never been, I don't know what typhoons are like though. I can imagine, I can only imagine they're pretty damn crazy though.
Destroy people's businesses, their homes, and they can even kill people. And then I realized, oh, this is serious and I need to take it seriously. So we stocked up
the
on
UK does
water.
really
My
have
wife told me about what to do if the power cuts out or if the water cuts out, what to do if there's fires or flash flooding. And a lot of Aussies told me that this cyclone wasn't even as bad as previous ones, in that it could have been a lot worse. And I was very thankful and grateful to God that we didn't get absolutely destroyed. And it doesn't just stop at cyclones. There are extreme lightning storms that we seem to experience on a regular basis in summer. Like I mentioned, there's flash flooding, which is a lot more serious than it sounds, and there's a whole heap of different things that, oh my word, you're like, I didn't even know extreme weather until I came here. And it's funny, this chaos, it does teach you a lot of resilience. I feel a lot more street smart when it comes to weather now, and while I haven't experienced the extremes of Australian weather, I feel like I have a lot better chance at surviving extreme weather than I did when I was just living in the UK. By the way, if you're feeling a bit stuck in your home country and you want to rebuild life abroad, somewhere like Australia like I did, I actually write a free weekly newsletter with a load of helpful tips and fun little stories. So if that sounds good, I'll leave it in the first link in the description below, or you can scan this QR code here. Let's get back to it. Number 6.
By the way, you guys, I'll have his video linked down in the description below. If you guys want to check that out, or his channel, by all means, it'll be there for you.
Become absolutely obsessed with sun safety. Now, whenever my parents leave the house without sunscreen, I'm like, what?
All right, before we get into it, I just want to say, I was like, I had this idea in my head that I was like, oh, I don't get sunburnt too often. If I do, it's maybe once a year. And yeah, the sun, I have good skin. I get dark, and the sun doesn't really bother me too much. And then some of you guys were in the comments and were like, man, you do not understand how insane the sun damage can be here in Australia. So I did a little bit of research and started looking around, and I was like, oh, that's bad. Maybe we should do a video on that. Let me know if you guys want to see that.
Obsessed with sun safety. Now, whenever my parents leave the house without sunscreen, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you trying to hurt yourselves? I love you guys. Not all Australians are like this, but a lot are very, very sun safety conscious. A sun safety campaign here, Slip Slop Slap by Cancer Council. Absolutely amazing. Now, British skin plus Australian UV, absolute nightmare, trust me. I once went paddleboarding on the Gold Coast, thought I don't need sunscreen, it's cloudy. The UV was extreme. Man. I only realised that after. I got so sunburned, I was like a tomato. Had the flight the next day, and whenever I was wearing a car seat belt in the taxi, it was sheer brutal pain. And I wouldn't wish it on my own worst enemy, which actually I think was that Aussie that bit me 2 weeks ago. And I know a lot of people are worried about some of the chemicals in sunscreen. So what I would recommend is find yourself a natural sunscreen, one that uses something like zinc. A zinc-based sunscreen, from my research, is one of the healthiest for your skin, and it is really serious, right? Because in Australia, it has some of the highest amounts of skin cancer in the entire world. And I've seen both British and Australian relatives have to have skin cancer cut out of all sorts of parts of their body, and it's a horrible experience. Number 7, quoting.
All right, sunscreen. Noted. I'm wearing sunscreen, you guys. Don't worry. I'm really curious to see how powerful this sun is. I feel like we have it pretty bad here too, but apparently it's not. And I'm a little scared and nervous, but
Lots of parts of their body, and it's a horrible experience. Number 7, quoting Kath and Kim. If you've never seen Kath and Kim, it is a brilliant comedy. It's on Netflix in Australia right now, and it's about a mother, Kath, and her daughter Kim, and their life together, trying to watch Australian TV every single week because we don't have like a Foxtel thing. And I didn't think I would start quoting, you know, Australian TV shows as if I were a local, and then I walk around the house, I'm tidying up, I'm making brekkie, and I'm saying it's nice, it's different, it's unusual, and I'm like, what has become of me? Number 8, my cooking has
all right, should I check out this show? I've always wanted to like check out like foreign TV shows and movies, so maybe we can do that farther down the line. I wonder if I was gonna say maybe I could do like a short little episode checking out that show, but it probably won't get approved on
and
YouTube.
I'm saying it's nice, it's different, it's unusual, and I'm like, what has become of me? Number 8, my cooking has improved. One of the things I noticed when I first moved here is that a lot of the fresh produce in the grocery stores here, a lot of it's grown in Australia, and it means you kind of have to adapt your cooking and your recipes to cook with the seasonal ingredients like you would have done back in the day, I guess. And it becomes a bit like a game, going to the supermarket and thinking, oh, they don't have that in stock today, but they do have this. And also a lot of the major supermarkets like Coles and Woolies, they often have a greengrocers right outside with, in my opinion, even fresher, even better smelling fruit and veg. It's been really fun cooking with seasonal stuff, and actually it's taught me a bit more about agriculture, but it does teach you to think ahead a little bit more. Number 9, you do less online shopping. Now,
I can't wait. I can't wait to try the food. I know I've said it before in other videos if you guys have seen them before. Food is my thing. So I'm pumped to try all the type of different cuisines that you guys have and the produce. I'm going to be cooking at home. Well, not at home, probably an Airbnb when I'm there.
Agriculture, but it does teach you to think ahead a little bit more. Number 9, you do less online shopping. Now, my Amazon Prime Australia account will probably disagree with this, but as I work from home, I sometimes get a bit of cabin fever. Even when I've done my run in the morning, I start getting a bit bored and a bit lethargic. And so this is a great excuse to get out of the house and support some local shops, the local economy. So now when I want to buy something, I don't just default... Is this true? I don't always default to buying it online. I will think, oh, can I get this at a proper brick and mortar shop? And it's nice because it does teach you to slow life down a bit. You don't need everything right here, right now. You don't need that. Everyone tells you to just get Uber Eats and DoorDash that and order all your clothes from that really cheap fast fashion website because they do next day delivery and you're just going to throw it in the bin a few weeks later, and you realize, no, I don't need to do that. I can just slow down and like enjoy life a bit more. And slowing life down a bit more and reducing the amount of, you know, dopamine you get from social media and shopping, not to get too deep, it feels really good, and Australia has really helped me to do that, and I'm very grateful to Australia. And the thing is,
I would like this a lot because well, you know, my wife will do a lot of online shopping, but myself, I don't really. I mean, I do use Prime here and there, especially if it's like a part. Like I have a scooter, my son's scooter. I got to order a tube for it. I'm just going to pop on to Amazon. But for actual like local shopping, whether it's gifts for people, right now it's around Christmas time, I always go find my gifts from local businesses. If I need clothes, I like to go actually to a store and go look at the clothes rather than ordering stuff online. It's happened, but I can get down with this, and I appreciate it a lot. I wish more people did this. The consumerism, at least here in America, is absolutely crazy. Everyone wants their DoorDash and their food delivered immediately, and next day delivery, like he was just saying, I don't know, it's a little too much. It's convenient, but I don't know where we're going with this, you know?
About all of these habits I've picked up, they all stack on top of each other, and you suddenly find that you're, not to sound cringy, but you're a much more different person than you were before. And you go back home to your home country, and your friends and family do take a second look at you, and they do think
probably a better person too. I've been completely blown away by how much I've learned about your guys' country so far, and we've barely just dipped into it. You guys all seem so nice too, which is, it's a breath of fresh air. I'll say that much. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. Like I said, I'll have Sam's link down in the description if you want to check him out. Sam, fantastic job on the video. Absolutely loved it. A lot of information that I needed to know. Not that I'm sure if I would ever fully move to Australia, but you never know. Could be possible. If I can take my whole family there, maybe we'll do it. Brother, sister, mother, father. All right, I'm rambling. Getting out of here. Appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next one. Peace.